Welcome to, I think it's the 16th Human Rights Festival. This has gone from strength to strength every year. My name is Vlad and I'm head of the School of Architecture here. Weirdly, the Human Rights Festival comes under the School of Architecture because the Centre for Development of Emergency Practice, which is 25 years young, if not slightly younger than that, as in 30. Yeah? But there's a lot, this whole week's based around activities to do with the Centre for Development of Emergency Practice around the Human Rights Festival. On top of that is that the Centre for Development of Emergency Practice have also got events running positive in that. This is great though, to have a live band in the building where mostly academic, quiet stuff goes on most of the time. So please upset some people, that would be very nice. Yes, I'm sure you will.
Yes!
Anyway, just before we start, just a huge thanks to Angela, who's organised the week. We will say it again, the reason it's gone from strength to strength is because of Angela and the support she gives to the students and the staff members in the school. So I'm going to hand over to Jack, because it was Jack's idea to invite Delta 7 to come to us. So thanks very much. Over to Jack.
I think that's right. I don't know how to put it down. Oh, there we go. A bit shorter than Matt asked it. Yes. Thank you for coming along. As you know, the theme for this year's Human Rights Festival is identity, and we thought it would be a brilliant idea to, as a traditionally kind of film and lecture festival, we thought it would be a brilliant idea to get something new in and do a bit of music. And there's not really a better way to combine the idea of, you know, identity, what makes you who you are, and music than the wonderful band Delta 7, who, you know, push the idea of what is possible and how your identity doesn't necessarily have to you know, hold you back in anything you do. And if you're passionate about something, you know, you should go and do it. And it's my pleasure to hand over to the band's manager Julia just to say a few words about the band before we get on to the concert. Thank you very much.
Is that okay? You can hear me, can't you? Thanks, Jack, so much for making us, having us invited to the festival. It's fantastic to be here. We came on the bus, as you do, tour bus from Eastbourne and Brighton, which is where we come from, and it's my job to just say a few words and introduce the band to you. So, first of all, who is this middle-aged woman who's standing up talking about band? I thought really hard about this, about how I could introduce myself to you, especially there's a lot of pressure when the theme of the festival is identity, because I feel like I need to come here with an authentic sense of who I am. So, there I am. And quite cruel laughter there, but anyway, I'm going to ignore that, because having thought quite a lot over the last week or so about us in relation to this theme of identity, it occurred to me that one of the most important things about identity is that we choose how we identify ourselves. And that's how I choose to identify myself, right? So, this is probably a bit more accurate as to who I am, actually. My working life is very typical of a portfolio of someone who works in the arts. So, on a good day, I'm doing that. That's what it looks like, and I'm not dropping any balls. I don't have any pictures of me on a bad day. But it's fairly typical. I do lots of other stuff. Delta 7 is a really joyful part of my working life. It's a really important thing to me and important to everyone else who's part of that project. So, let me give you a very brief introduction to the story of Delta 7 so far. The band was a product, an unexpected outcome, we call it, when we're reporting to people like the Arts Council. We ran a 10-week pilot music course in 2013 alongside some other work that we were doing, and as a result of that project we had a group of 7 people, and in the far right, top right hand corner, that's a picture of the original band lineup, which isn't very different from the lineup that you're going to see today. And those people felt really strongly at the end of the 10-week course that they were a band, that they'd made a band, they were part of a band, and they wanted it to continue. So that's what we decided that we would do. There was enough energy and enthusiasm, and we had a little pot of money that we managed to cobble together, and the band has gone from strength to strength. They've had full-page articles in the Daily Mirror written about them. They've had loads of media coverage, mainly in the southeast at the moment, but you know, it's early days, so we're okay with that. They've won awards, they've had a single released on iTunes, and they had a brilliant film made about them, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about later on. I would say my personal feeling is that Delta 7 are best tasted live, and you're going to experience that today. They've done loads of live performances at festivals. This was taken at the Every Sort of People Festival, which is a project that we ran last year at Lewis Football Club. They've played at gigs, we've played in pubs and clubs, haven't we? All sorts of places, all over the southeast. I'm going to introduce you now to the current band lineup, the people that you're going to see tonight. When I say the current band lineup, it hasn't changed in a good sort of 3 years now, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. So this is Delta 7. First of all, you're going to see Craig and Harry. Our band, and this relates to the theme of identity as well, the guys do change around the instruments. Basically, our ethos is that once you're in the band, you decide what you want to play, you decide what, so there's a bit of chopping and changing, and you'll see some of that tonight. But Craig and Harry, you're pretty consistent lead vocals, aren't you, actually? Yeah. So I'm not going to say any more about Craig and Harry because you will meet them later on. Mikey, DJ Mikey is in the house, and Mikey is a DJ. He DJs lots around Eastbourne and the area that he lives in. And in terms of Delta 7, he's responsible for creating beats for lots of the music, and you also do some vocals, don't you, Mikey? Have been known to play a bit of percussion and drums as well. This is our David. David, where are you? I know you're there. He is. There he is. David plays keyboards. David is one of the people that's been in the band since the word go as well, as has Mikey and as has Craig. Fraser and Elliot, where are you boys? I can see you. Fraser and Elliot are brothers actually too. So Fraser is one of the original band lineup, and Elliot is one of our newcomers, but you've been with us for a good 2 years now, haven't you, Elliot? Fraser is an awesome drummer, first and foremost. He does also sing. And Elliot plays bass, don't you, Elliot?
I play the guitar.
You play the guitar, sorry. He turns up the bass, he plays the guitar. But they're brothers too, which is great. And finally, we're one of the only bands I know of, I think the Flaming Lips might claim prior on this, but we have a member of our band who appears in costume. You will see her tonight, and she's going to be cosmic, but she is Lucy. She's an amazing artist as well. So she sometimes performs with the band, but she's also a quite brilliant artist. She makes all her own costumes, she makes characters, she has some of them with her today. She also draws, and she's created a fanzine for us, which we have outside, so if you'd like one of those, please do pick one of those up. And then, two very important people who are probably, they're really good at disappearing, but you'll see them, are Tom Cook and Sam Baldwin. They're professional musicians, they're awesome. They're really skilled musicians, but they're also really skilled at supporting people invisibly. They make it look so easy. They're quite brilliant. And they're the people that make all of this happen creatively, really. I've put underneath, I was thinking of a job title for those guys, and I've put they're cool, they're kind, and they're clever, and I think that's really true. It's a good combination, by the way. Surround yourself with cool, clever people, and you're always going to be all right. So that's the lineup. The film, We Rise, which I'm going to show you in a minute, is the film that introduced us to you, Jack, wasn't it? So this film was made by Rosie Baldwin, who's with us today. She's like a stalker, we can't get rid of her. Rosie won a film competition, a national film competition run by Picturehouse cinemas. The film was made, we had an amazing crew, it was just a fantastic experience. And they made this short film which was then shown for 6 months at all the Picturehouse cinemas across the country. So it was fantastic exposure for Delta 7. And I think when you see it, if you haven't already seen it, I think you'll agree that it's a really positive and quite powerful film in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it is. She's a brilliant filmmaker. She's followed us again for nearly another year. And actually today's your last day of filming with us pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Rosie's making a follow-up film to this film, and I just wanted to talk about this briefly because I think it relates to the theme of identity. So Rosie started following us again about this time last year, and when she began filming, we had another musician working with the band called Tom Solway. He's a young guy, 24 years old, another one of those cool, kind and clever people. And sadly, we lost Tom at the age of 24 in the summer. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's had a massive impact on us as a band, I think, the loss of Tom. Because we've dealt with everything that has happened over the last 6 months as a band, haven't we? Back me up on this, guys. Because, to be honest with you, I didn't know 6 months ago whether the band would be still existing. I didn't know whether we'd continue. And we are very much continuing, and the band is stronger than ever. I think stronger than ever emotionally, but also creatively stronger than ever. So the film has actually, Rosie's film has actually changed completely, because the story of the film isn't now just this crazy bunch of people making music together. It's the story of how that crazy bunch of people making music together has dealt with something as powerful as the sudden loss of someone that you love. And I think it's a really powerful case study for the importance of the arts in people's lives. And people constantly, if you work in the arts, people constantly say, well, prove it. You know, if you want me to fund your project, prove to me that that changes people's lives. Prove to me it's important. And it's a real challenge, let me tell you, to prove that to people that are funding work all the time. I kind of know it in my heart, but what Rosie's film is doing is showing people that art and creativity helps people absolutely in their real everyday lives. So I just wanted to mention that to you because I think Rosie's film is brilliant, but I think the next film will be even more powerful and important. So, how does Delta 7 relate to your theme of identity? I've thought about this a lot, and I think it relates in lots of ways. And one thing that occurred to me when I started thinking about this was, in fact, even the concept of having an identity, I think, demands a bit of creativity. You make your identity, don't you? It's something it grows and it evolves and it develops. It's a work in progress, you know. It's a blank canvas, to use the creative analogy even. So I think it's a creative act. I think having an identity demands creativity. It's like me claiming to be Beyonce. There's a little bit of creativity in that.
Well, we called old school.
I think, yeah, thank you, Mikey. I wondered when that would come up. So I think our identity is a combination of some of these things. I think it's a sense of purpose, a sense of creativity, a sense of fun. No one tells you shouldn't tell you about what your identity is. You should have fun discovering who you are. Authentic connections. I think we create our identity when we connect with someone else, and we want to have that as what we do. I've thought about this quite a lot, and I thought if your identity is based on who you are and what you do, not what you don't do. So a lot of the work that I'm involved with at the moment is working with disabled people, and it feels weird to me that we expect people to claim that as their identity, because your identity is not based on a anything. You know, I'm put up here. I'm not a non-man. I'm a woman. Do you know what I mean? We're not what we can't do. We are what we can do. It's about, for us in the band, it's about being cool. It's not being about being uncool. Aspiration. That's kind of me wanting to be Beyonce, really, isn't it? It's about what we want to be. I think there's quite a lot of that in our identity. And then, this should probably be right at the top, because unless you have the opportunity to claim an identity, unless I have the opportunity one day to stand up and be Beyonce, let's face it, I'm never going to be Beyonce, am I? I need the opportunity. And we all need that, I think. This quote has become really important to us as well. We were involved in an evening of music called the Circus of Sound a couple of weeks ago, which was in memory of Tom Solway, who we worked with, and this became the motto of the evening, actually. It was about people being cool, being creative through music, and recognising the need to be kind. And I think, for me, the thing that I've learned about Delta 7 is that everyone involved in that band is cool, creative and kind. And I think that's not a bad sense of identity, is it? I think that's quite a powerful sense of who the band is. So if you like what you see tonight, and please, stay and listen to the guys talking at the end. I'm done with talking now, the rest of the night is theirs. So the guys are going to perform for you. They're then going to answer questions and talk to you in here. And if you want to stay in touch with us, it would be fantastic.
Hello everyone, I'm Mikey. And the first song we're going to do, we've actually written for you, especially for this festival. It's called Human Rights, but this is what it means to you. This is our new song. The reason why we wrote this song is to tell people that we have the right to do what we like. Hope you enjoy it, and please do follow us on Twitter and everything else, so we get some feedback. Hope you enjoy. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
It's coming. It's coming. Hi, I'm Fraser. Hope you're having a good time enjoying Delta 7. Our next song's called Every Sort of People. We wrote this at a couple of workshops, one in Lewis and one near Seaford.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Jag säger a big thank you for the band and a big thank you for tuning and Chad for the organisers. Thank you.
Let's do it. There you go.
Last song? Which one?
What's the last one?
No, it's not.
Jungle. You can dance, dude.
Oh.
Not free? Free.
Yeah,
everybody to come to perfect songs. That's how you birds.
Charcoal! And this was the one that was available on iTunes.
And enjoy.
And thank you for chats as well, you organise this. And if I'm over there, my favourite man in the world, you did organise this for anyone who did come to Oxford, picked that from my child of Oxford.
There's Julie Rockford, thank you.
And the beautiful lady over here, you know, friend, Andrea. Beautiful lady in the world, Andrea. Next room, please, and everyone who talk to you about our band. Thank you. And you show your evening as well.
Say one more thing to you lot. Thank you!
So we're just going to have a little Q&A now for the guys. So if anyone's got any questions, I'm sure you guys will answer them. Has anyone got any questions you'd like to ask? Kester?
I don't think I really need to microphone sitting this closely, but I wondered, When you started the band, could you play the instruments before you started the band, or did that also happen in those first 10 weeks?
Well, I actually didn't have the iPad. I started with the keyboard, and so I don't need that. Yeah, so I started off with the keyboard. I tried a lot of things. I tried doing the drumming, and they found me like this really cool app on the iPad. It's really cool. And obviously the vocals I've kind of brought out as well. So yeah. Obviously, like Fraser's.
I've been playing the drums before.
How long have you been
starting
playing
the band since I was 7, 25.
I've been playing the organ since 1980, I think. Not for long, but finding time to practice.
I like playing the guitars, and my name's called Elliot. It makes me feel really good as well. Dedicated.
How long have you been playing for, Els?
Tom's now.
Okay.
How many years have you been playing?
I think you started when you were about 10,
About 10.
Yeah, you had 4 years guitar lessons, but then started doing your own thing.
Yeah, I decided just to do my own thing, really. Didn't make much.
I think there's a question behind you.
Oh.
No, I think the one behind you. There's a question. Did you have a question behind? Yeah, I saw you put your hand up a minute ago.
I was wondering, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, no. Where does the name Delta 7 come from?
I am.
Oh. Well, the name is, there was a building where we are at the Eastbourne College called the Burley Centre, and there was a building called Delta.
Yeah,
it's actually not there anymore, it's been knocked down. And there was actually 7 of us, so we just thought we'd use the building, and then there was 7. So that's the reason why it was called Delta 7. It's kind of stuck.
Because originally we were trying to work out a name with, say, our surnames or our first names, but we couldn't work one out. So then came along Delta 7.
What were some of the names?
Yeah, we try to use like all the letters of people's names, but then we thought we'd use the building we were in, but now it's not actually there, it's been locked down, so. I think it's over out of you two if you want to fight us next.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were all agreeing on the musical style, or if you have discussions about that.
Nice. Well, I think we try and mix it up and have a bit of everything. So, like we've got a bit of country, like a bit of Johnny Cash in there, and a bit of rock and roll, a bit of pop. I think we try to do cover a bit of everything. And there is where we have to have our arguments, don't we, with certain lyrics, but we try and come up with it the best we can. So.
I just wondering if you have any musical inspiration, are there any artists or any bands that you look up to that you really try and...
Well, like I said, I'm Johnny Cash fan, so yeah.
What about you, Harry?
Yes. I know all about artists, anyway. Lucy Walter is an artist, yes. She made her own costume at home. And the artist is all about singing with other people in the band.
No, yeah, Lucy makes her own costume because she doesn't like them on stage herself. So she makes a costume, which I think the best thing in the world is to have a dog in your band. It's amazing. And it's
what sort of music are you into, though, Harry? What's your inspiration?
Oh yeah, for me, a singer anyway, a main singer with my partner Jack Posh. Me and Jack are both singers. I will sing anything in the new songs we did today, Human Rights, and our old songs we did in the past with Tommy Sarway and Tommy Tood and Sam.
What's your guys' dream gig?
Jim did.
Yeah, your dream gig.
I think to actually go abroad, because Oxford is probably the furthest we've actually been, but I think we need to stretch out, go somewhere a bit like, maybe even so we have us just out of the UK, that'd be nice.
My dream stage is every sort of people. Right. I done my favourite band with Tom Church, Sam and Junior.
So that was a festival, wasn't it, Harry? So you like playing festivals?
Yes, even now playing in a note of festival. It was the time for a network in Jessica, Utah.
I was going to say something, that I've been to see AC/DC in Wembley, in London, and it was really good fun, seeing the music.
Would that be your dream gig?
Yeah, it would. I'd love to play that.
I think you're alone.
Nice and loud as well. Shout out the windows and the doors. Thank you. One more time.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yep.
To achieve any sort of long-term objectives, have you guys ever considered collaborating with external people? Not necessarily just musical, however, also just people who like be of advantage or anything.
Like with filmmakers or whatever.
Well, obviously we've done like the workshops. A couple of those songs we make today, like the Zombie and the other sort of people, we actually got some schools involved with the lyrics, so they weren't actually made up. We kind of helped make them with other people. So we're probably looking to do more workshops. We're actually up in Chichester this Saturday. 1 week we've got 2 gigs, and it's like we're in Chichester doing a workshop there and performing. So
Do you think if other organisations wanted to work with you, you'd like to work with them?
Depending on what do you think?
Would it depend on who it was and what you wanted to do? What opportunity?
As long as it's nothing to do with prisons, it's alright.
Any else? Yes.
These workshops of yours, do children attend and do they see you as a source of inspiration at all?
Yes, we do, yes. The children, the kids, listen to our songs in the way, and myself and my band friends.
I think they're like dog as well.
They help us write songs as well.
Yeah.
The workshops and give us other ideas and we include them.
How does that make you feel when the children are looking up to you as like your inspiration for these children?
Because the children and the kids now the time anyway to every festival the kids now listening singing anyway the people always respect our people singing as well. I respect the band and I respect the parents and the kids.
How does that make you feel, Harry?
Well, it does make me more happier anyway. It's is around.
As long as Julia's around, it makes it happy.
Yeah, my dad's in there. Yeah. Everyone is here. Anyway, everyone is made happy anyway. Being happier. The people not coming to see our band.
But the most person we're inspiring now at the moment is who's always going to be with us is Tom Solway.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Tom, don't we?
Yeah, Tom Solway.
He's our God in the sky who's telling everyone off.
No, because I know Tom Solway myself at no time. Yeah, he faithfully saw he was a zombie one, and he did for anyone. Always respect Tom feeling in a way, but everyone knows being in the band. Everybody doing it for Tom. And they can. Everyone knows Tom.
Anything.
Any other questions? Any happy questions?
We've got another gig next Saturday, haven't we?
Yes, we have, yes. We're going to Jessica next weekend with a band with Tom, myself, my junior, maybe my dad as well. He told me to see those too.
So there'll be no drinking Coke next weekend?
No.
More Coke.
More Coke. This way they told you about me to the in coach business.
How many cans today?
It's been lovely coming up to Oxford.
Yes.
Is there anything else anyone?
I was just wondering, how do you write your songs when you do these
workshops?
We tend just to come out with loads of words and suddenly just come up with verses.
No, really, no. But we don't do whole, with Tom Church, and myself and Tom and Sam, we write songs only for more people.
We let Fraser talk.
Yeah.
We kind of think of the subject, don't we?
Yeah.
We want something we want to write about, and then we'll think of a load of words each, and then kind of brainstorm.
We just collect loads of words at first.
Yeah, we normally just use acoustic guitar as well, just to tune. We're trying to pry Elliot away from the guitar. We've been trying to write songs quite hard, didn't it, Elliot?
Then we remove half the swear words.
Oh yeah, I think we're lucky we got away with pissed off today. I hope you weren't too offended.
No swearing. Yeah. Any else?
What I was trying to say is it's really important that we remember.
Go on.
Tom Sam.
It's even more difficult for everyone because he also, the other thing, just mentioned, he seems alright in the band, but he took his own time.
Any hours?
I was going to ask you guys to talk a bit about, because the theme of the festival, we were talking about it before, weren't we, that it's identity. And I just wanted you to tell people what kind of people you think you are.
Oh yeah.
I know what kind of people, but they're not me, but I think it's really important to have a chance to say the kind of people that...
Well, there's one saying we always, what sticks is, we don't look at the disability, no, what is it? We don't look at the disability, I can't think what it is, but you know the one I'm on about. The saying
different ability.
And obviously don't judge a book by its covers, another very good one.
Yeah.
And I've noticed Oxford's quite, this is the university, we're walking around, you're quite mixed with different agendas. I'm trying not to be racist here, but it's quite hard because you don't know what you're allowed to say these days. It's very hard to walk around.
Yeah.
It's good though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you want to be seen as individuals, don't you, rather than somebody who's a disability.
And that's why we find music's the best way to express ourselves.
Yes.
Have you guys just arrived in Oxford today?
Yeah, we're travelling back tonight.
Did you guys find about any time to come around Oxford and just enjoy the city?
Probably, we could come up again.
We didn't have time, did we?
No.
We have time.
Yeah.
We would love to.
Me too as well. But Oxford is my life.
Oxford is your life?
Yeah, I know the people in...
Harry, you don't have to come back on a coach, you can stay here.
No, I don't do that. Oxford, I've been in Oxford myself, with my mum and my dad, anyway. Oxford is a good place to come, anyway, with the band, and to see all to sing, to show you how we did.
And as a final comment, maybe you guys should come back one more time and tell Oxford University what they've been missing. Maybe they might set you up.
That would be great.
Apparently I've been told to come up and do a DJ set, so I'm thinking about that one next time.
Yeah. That's why I'm multi-DJ anyway. But my friend of mine, Ryan, is a DJ, and he's a friend with Marty as well. So most I've been touched anyway for everybody who do time. But for Tom and Sam and Rosie, for anyone, enjoy your day. I try to keep it.
Anyone wants to buy any merchandise Very welcome. Even a one-pound banner.
Or you can have a flashy business card.
Yes, that's right. We do our business.